Great things. A new twist today in the push to expand Tennessee's private school voucher program. Republicans are now lowering the number of new vouchers they want the state to hand out starting next year. But an amendment to the voucher expansion bill requires schools to prove students' immigration status if they want to get reimbursed for those kids that they lose to the voucher program. Our Stacey Cameron is here with us in studio to explain, Stacey.
Yeah, that's right, Lydia. You know, the proof of immigration status is one of 3 new tweaks added to the voucher expansion bill that came out of left field this week just before a hearing in the powerful House Subcommittee on Finance. The amendment filed by Representative Ryan Williams, a Cookeville Republican, may help expansion pass in the House, but it's also added more controversy to a hot-button bill. Let me explain. So at its core, Williams' amendment does 3 things. First, it shrinks the number of new scholarships from 20,000 to 15,000, reducing the cost to taxpayers by about $38 million. Second, it adds some new transparency requirements, requiring the state to track and report student data like what county they live in, family income level, and whether they were in public school before applying for a voucher. Third, and this is the controversial part, the original school voucher bill had a hold harmless clause, giving districts extra money for each student that they lost to school vouchers. The amendment ends that help in 2028, and going forward, to get that cash, schools will have to prove the students leaving are in the country legally. But right now, you see, schools don't have a mechanism to collect or report student citizenship data or immigration records, and the amendment doesn't spell out how it's supposed to work. Some Democrats think this amendment's just a backdoor way for Republicans to pass a bill that's wanting to track the number of undocumented students in Tennessee public schools, a controversial piece of legislation that may be stalled now for the 2nd straight year on Capitol Hill. And finally, while the amended voucher expansion bill passed in that House subcommittee and is now moving on to the full finance, the Senate already passed its own version that grows the number of vouchers to 40,000, but it doesn't have any of that immigration or data reporting requirements. And right now, the House and Senate are on a collision course because there's no indication that Senate Republicans want to take on a fight over this new version. I'll keep an eye on what happens and let you know. Reporting in the studio, I'm WSMV4 investigative reporter Stacey Cameron.